that. The judge did tell Allen in court yesterday that he'd be willing to potentially move him to a cell that would have window access and less restrictions. We'll wait to see what ruling comes down. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, John. All right, joining me now to continue this conversation is Barry Donadio, who is a former U.S. Secret Service agent. So before I get to you, let me just say, breaking news now. Cole Allen, that guy we're talking about, was indicted by a grand jury on another count, a total of 4, and the new charge is assaulting a federal officer with a deadly weapon. So I guess we should continue to treat him nicer and nicer. Shouldn't there be like a mint on his pillow? Shouldn't the judge grant him that too?
Thanks for having me on your show. I don't necessarily agree with the judge. This case is because of the defendant itself. He was on a suicide mission, so the justice system has an obligation to protect him while he's in custody. It could be an issue of liability. I have not heard that they don't allow a Bible. But I'm sure we're not getting the whole story on that either way. But the judge shouldn't be apologizing to the defendant at this juncture just because he was kept in a cell that was meant to protect him from hurting himself.
Yeah, and apparently that was based on the medical profession, the professionals, psychiatrists, and ever at the jail. They made that determination, or they concurred. They all concurred with this too. But like you said, we'll see more as more comes out, but it's still just outrageous that this magistrate judge would issue an apology from the bench at this point. But let's talk about that. I do want to talk to you, since you're Secret Service and you've been involved in the agency, about that evening and where do you think now protection has to go from where it's been, or where it traditionally was, to where it needs to go now, since we've seen 3 attempts on this one particular person, this president's life. Is the old playbook still valid?
It's the question everybody's asking, and the way I see the incident is that the Secret Service did exactly what they were supposed to do. I don't really find any shortcomings in what they did, or the speed they did it in, or how they did it. We can always make security of a president better, though, whether it's through technology, cyber, now drones, which were not there when I was there, not so much of a threat. But they're going to evaluate what happened. They're going to meet in a big, tremendous room with a lot of smart people and a lot of experienced people and say, hey, what could we do even better than what we did? And I imagine it could be anything. My suggestion would be, should we now place some kind of like a cage or a fence behind these things so nobody can run through? Just an idea. Would they implement it maybe some other way? It's possible. Or maybe they had something there. I'm not certain. I have worked at the Washington Hilton while I was in the Secret Service, and I can tell you it's an immense building. That entrance there seems to be a tradesman entrance or a guest entrance. So it's not the main entrance, but you can see there's no shortage of officers and agents there, no shortage of certainly tactical members up on a stage, as well as agents that protected President Trump, and all the protective details for all the cabinet members all did what they were supposed to do. It was, quite frankly, textbook overall.
Barry, real quick, what is the protocol? You saw like the agents pulling their weapons, obviously there, but if he had gotten into the ballroom and there's a huge crowd of people there, or like yesterday on the National Mall when they engaged, what's the protocol there when there's so many people? That's a difficult situation to be, because there's so many people who could get friendly fire, injured.
Yeah, every single thing is different. So I can't really answer the question perfectly specifically, because if he gets in that room, let's just pretend he did. All right, there's other officers and agents really close to that door, I'm rather certain, before anybody from the inner protective detail would even have to engage him. So it would take an awful lot for him to get through a lot of agents for what you're seeing on your screen now, for the counter-assault team with the rifles there for them to even need to engage. So I think he was still so far away. What you're seeing on the video there is a precaution and the movement of the President of the United States being covered by tactical operators to where if they need to shoot, if they need to engage, you see them in almost like a skirmish line, and they're ready to go. And I would not want to get in a gunfight with them. They're surgical shooters with that rifle as well as their pistols, and they're going to win the day overall. So if they need to take a shot, they're going to win.
Yep. Thank God for them and what they do. Barry, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.